Hello and welcome to the 2018 Because Your Life Matters Expo show. First on today's program, we will be talking to custom quilts and more. Later, we will also be talking about our radio station and to the Macon County Health Department. But first, let's go to Janice with Cheryl Halls from Custom Quilts and More.
Hi, we're with Cheryl Halls, Custom Quilts and More, here at the Better Living Center. And Cheryl, we really are thrilled to have you with us today on our radio station. Appreciate so much all that you do to help. I don't know if anybody out there has noticed how beautiful the center window is for the spring. The doll and little umbrella and raincoat. It was amazing to watch you work as you decorated the window, and we really appreciate that down at the Better Living Center. Can you tell us a little bit about your business and what all kind of things that you guys do?
Well, Janice, thank you for having me. And as you mentioned, we're Custom Quilts and More. And so we do everything from building the quilts from the ground up, working with you all the way through the process to choose your colors and your patterns and what you would like. And that's where the custom part comes in. And then we also branch off into the doll clothes and things like that. We make the clothes for the 18-inch dolls. We can do that custom using your clothes from your children, or some memorabilia thing that you would like to preserve. We do memory quilts. We do all kinds of neat things.
So one of the things that I thought was really neat that you guys do is you help people that maybe can do their quilt top, but they can't go on any further from that, and you will help them get it the back on and the binding.
Right.
And then you actually have a quilting machine.
We
right?
do. We have a big quilt machine, and my husband Aaron runs the machine. It is not computerized. He does everything free motion, but he has developed quite the reputation with the girls at the Quilt Guild, and he does a really good job. He pulls ideas from the fabrics that are in your quilt top and makes it personal to you.
Can you expand a little bit about that? He draws it from, so as he's actually quilting the quilt, does he do a design so your back looks pretty too?
Yes, it will show through. And that's some depending on what you want to do. We can mix and match thread colors. So if you have a dark colored back and you want the design to show, we can put a lighter colored thread on it. If you want the design to disappear on the back, then we would put a thread on it that would match the back or the front, either way.
So you guys don't do just quilts, though. I've seen some table runners
Yep.
and wall hangings that are just beautiful, and some of the work he's done is actually a design in that.
It is. He amazes me every day because he has a gift with what he's doing. I've seen him draw very intricate pictures into the quilts. One time we had a lady that her daughter is who she was making the quilt for, and they were into, I don't know if I'm saying the right word, but botany, the science of flowers and things like that. And he drew a whole garden landscape and front porch idea on hers, had a bicycle and a kitty and a squirrel, and it almost became a hide and seek picture with the quilting.
So now, does he draw that all out by hand, or does he do it as he's quilting?
With something that detailed, he draws it out, just a rough idea of what he's doing. And, even with the other things, he'll look at the material and pick 4 or 5 or designs, pieces, elements out of your material and kind of decide what he's doing. And then he just draws it on the deal.
And he does that free-handed?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
It's pretty neat.
So the wall hangings and the table runners, the quilts, does he do stuff, or does your company do stuff like the t-shirt quilts and things that if somebody's lost a loved one and or they have something they want to memorialize?
A couple of the things that we enjoy doing are the t-shirt quilts, like you mentioned. Those are really popular with high school seniors. Parents will have those done for their kids, or somebody that's involved in an organization that has several t-shirts. If somebody does a lot of marathons or something, they might bring all of their t-shirts and make a quilt out of that. The memorial stuff that you're talking about, we have dealt with several different people that have lost loved ones, And, they might bring all of Grandpa's shirts in, and we can make a quilt out of those for the grandkids or the kids or whatever. And, we work custom with those to meet your needs on those. We've done pillows and teddy bears. And
We won't get into what your prices are, but let's just touch upon that just a little bit. Are your prices pretty comparable, or is he a lot higher where he does the custom drawing out the design and all that?
a lot of people have a set price per inch. We do it by the bobbin, which means that the simpler the design, the less thread we use and the cheaper it is. So a stipple or a swirl, something you're basic all over, is not going to take as much thread. If he gets to doing medallions or feathers or things like that that take a lot more time and a lot more stopping and starting, it does end up taking more thread and costs a little bit more. But what we have figured out by talking to other people that use other quilters occasionally, or, just over the years, we've kind of learned that we're somewhere kind of in the middle.
I see. That's really good. Now, something else that we touched upon was the doll stuff that you've put in the Better Living Center window. And also, I want to mention that if they want to walk by the Better Living Center, downtown Macon's, catty corner kind of across from Ben Franklin, you have your phone number, your name, and all that. Now, you've done a lot of custom stuff through Pathfinders. And would you like to tell a little bit about that? I think it's really cool. You've shipped it out all over different areas.
I don't know if everybody's aware of Pathfinders, but it's a scouting group similar to Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, but it's through our church, and so it has our Christian emphasis through it. But we do camping and all that kind of thing. There is a specific uniform for the Pathfinders, and then also for their sister club, the Adventurer Club, which is the younger group. And we have worked with a company out of Lincoln, Nebraska that distributes those uniforms nationwide for the kids, and we have developed the corresponding uniform for the 18-inch doll for that.
And this last year, you even shipped some to Australia. Is that correct?
I think so. It all kind of runs together. I don't know.
I remember you telling me that you had to get some shipped out. And now, just like Boy and Girl Scout, they actually have the sash and the badges. What do you do about that?
I have come up with a way to do it on the, using the computer, and the little tiny badges, we iron them on instead of sewing them on because they're too little to get that much detail. But they're about 3/8 inch tall and about a half an inch wide.
So you do the actual badges so that it's a memorial thing that the kid is in Pathfinder, they're earning the badge, and their doll can get the same badge.
We do the sash once, unless they were to send it back to me and have me add stuff to it. But yeah, there's been a few times when I've gotten to work directly with the customer and made the uniform for their doll match their uniform, and that's pretty fun.
That's really cute.
Most of the time it's just a set of patches that they would normally have by the first or second year so that it would match everybody's that way.
And you also have items out at the Willow Tree here in Macon too, right?
Yes, I do. Would love to have you stop by and see some of our stuff there. We have quite a few items doll clothing wise for the 18-inch doll. And then we have a few table runners and things like that. Our brochure is there also if you want to see more of what we have done, or if you want to make contact with us, we can do something custom for you.
And then you have a Facebook page.
We do.
Custom Quilts and More.
And it's all spelled out. There's several different custom quilts, but
so if they went to Facebook and they typed it in the search, they'd want to make sure that they get the one in Macon, Missouri.
Well, and if you happen to walk by the center and you see the friendship star, the red, white, and black star that's on the custom quilts banner in the window, look for that, and that's also in the little thumbnail on the Facebook page.
Now we're going to talk just a little bit about our expo we're going to have out at the fairgrounds here at Macon, June the 28th. Doors will open at 10 o'clock to the public. Everything is free. You come in. We're going to have tons of things for kids to do, outside games all day long. We have lots of vendors coming, dentist, registered dietitian, just tons of things. Shoes from the Heart will be there, measuring your kids from the Macon County area for their free shoes. You're also going to be there with a booth with Custom Quilts and More, you're going to be showing some demonstrations because you actually do another little branch of thing, and that is that you teach people how to sew.
That's probably the part of it that I enjoy the most, is if somebody is serious about wanting to learn, it's really fun to share and to make new friends with people. So yes, we're hoping to do 3 or 4 different demonstrations throughout the course of the day. Still kind of working on what those will be, but yeah, it should be pretty fun. And if you are interested in classes, then give us a call or meet us there
At the expo. And what is your age range? Do you teach just a certain age group to sew, or?
It kind of depends on the individual. My daughter learned when she was 7, but there are some 7-year-olds that don't have the desire to sit still that long, and so that would probably not be a real good fit. If you have a young person that is interested in learning to sew, then by all means we can give it a try, and all the way up from there.
So you would teach some older person
Sure.
also. Yeah,
Some of my best friends are over 70.
and because you kind of specialize either in quilts, table runners, wall hangings, doll clothes. You don't do so much of actual people clothes. You can, but
It's
so
not
if
my
you
favorite
were
part.
teaching, If you were teaching a class, they'd probably start on a table runner or
Right.
a wall. So
I've learned in doing the doll clothes that they don't complain about the color, and it always fits, and it's
Yeah.
a lot easier to do than the people clothes.
yeah. So if you're interested in learning to sew, Cheryl and her team of her daughter and her husband and would be glad. Do your other kids also work out in the shop, or?
Not so much. My son helps a little bit with the advertising part of it. My other daughter loves to cook, and so she makes sure we don't starve to death while we work out there.
So it's what you would call a real family-owned business.
Yes, it is.
And, we want to really promote that if you have a family-owned business, if you have some encouragement to give other people, to get a hold of us, and we would be glad to sign more people up at our expo. Come out and share your talents with others.
Thanks, Cheryl. Next, Janice and I will be talking about our radio station.
Hi, you're here with Janice Wilson, and we have Fletcher Pride that we're talking about our expo, June the 28th, at the Macon County Fairgrounds. And one of the things that we're going to do there is do media outreach with all the vendors. And we actually are going to live stream our radio that we have here at the Macon Seventh-day Adventist Church, 104.1. Fletcher, would you like to tell us a little bit about your booth? It's going to be set up where people can come to your booth, or are you going to be going around to each one of theirs?
Well, I think we'll be doing a little bit of both because I will be hopefully running an all-day live stream, and we'll be putting mics on all of the speakers for all of our different events. We will also be probably going around with a microphone and talking to different vendors as the day goes through, and I'm not sure what else we'll be doing.
And all the things that we're going to do live streaming, we'll do some live streaming on Facebook and stuff, but we'll also be putting this stuff on the YouTube that we can share off and on over Facebook. So it just helps the people have more visibility in our community, doesn't it?
Yeah. We will be doing probably Facebook Live as well as posting stuff to Facebook and YouTube during the day.
So we have Randy, one of our conference workers, coming, and he's going to join with us to give us a hand with this booth. It's not going to be just the radio, live streaming, and Facebook and all that, because we actually are going to be showing some stuff on a big screen, and it's going to be just a really good opportunity to maybe get the word out about your business or group or some events that's coming up. And so we would encourage everybody to take part in it. But we're also doing some interviews prior.
Yeah, in fact, that's part of this program, was just kind of to get the information out about the expo and the different exhibitors that were going to be coming.
Now, what do people have to pay to come and get, because this is getting on the radio. The radio reaches from north of Macon, and it reaches about a 5-mile radius. But there's some days that I can get it, and I'm 18 miles from Macon. I'm southwest. So it does reach out. And as we get more visibility, it will maybe help some people with advertising and things. And what do they have to pay or whatever to do that?
Well, it's totally free. At this moment, this program and the radio are, right now we're just doing this for the Expo and the Expo exhibitors, although we've been talking about after the Expo's finished, kind of going out to other people and just talking about local businesses and talking about local events.
So it doesn't have to be just people that are in this radius of this radio station here, because as we put it on YouTube and tag it on Facebook, we have people that are listening to the programs clear up into Iowa, don't we?
Oh yeah, I mean even farther than that. We have our radio station YouTube page, which is also our church YouTube page, and I've tracked people. YouTube will allow you to track the places of people. I've seen people watch stuff from South Carolina, and even I believe even up into Alaska and overseas in places.
That's really amazing. So, I would encourage businesses, groups, or organizations to let us know, even activities that's going on. That'll be something we'll do later on, isn't it, Fletcher, is go out and kind of do some community activities and get them on the radio and stuff?
Yeah, eventually. I don't know exactly the extent of this, but I would like to do live streaming or pre-recorded broadcasts of community events like fairs, health fairs, just any sort of event.
Now, we would like to keep everything free. We will probably, as this grows, have to do some advertising to sustain the cost of the radio and its growth, because we constantly are having things that we have to purchase or little minor problems, right?
Yeah, in fact, back in January, we took the radio went off the air for a while because their transmitter failed, and we had to ship it out to Washington and had to have them repair it. And so that it cost a good amount of money to do that.
Well, I really appreciate all the work that you do with the radio station and all the technology. You run all the computers and all of that stuff. And the reason that we are able to do this radio station is we're actually plugged into the larger Seventh-day Adventist group, 3ABN. And so we have a lot of support. You're able to call them whenever you have problems and so forth, right?
Yeah, I can call up there and I talk to all of the people. I mean, I've even talked to the head programmer for all of the programming.
So as a Christian radio station, we do have some regulations that we follow for advertising and things, but we would just encourage anybody that would like to do an interview. We try to accommodate either by going out and do it with them, or our church is located just across the highway from Specialty Meats. It's very easy location to get to, and we would love to hear from people and have them put on the air. Come out to the Expo, and if you're looking for workers or you're needing different things to get out to the community, we would love to try to be a service to you. And anybody that would still like to sign up, we still have space. So if you have a group, organization, church, club, or if you have a business that you would like to promote at the Expo in June, it's June the 28th at the Macon County Fairgrounds. This is Janice Wilson with Fletcher Pride.
Now for our last interview, Janice will be talking to Cheryl Blaze from the Macon County Health Department.
All right. I'm here at the Macon County Health Department with Cheryl Blaze.
Hi, Janice.
Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Sure. I've been here at the health department for a couple of years now. My primary job is emergency preparedness with volunteers. Recruit volunteers that are willing to be trained and be available in case of an emergency in Macon County. And we have branched out to several different things. I'm doing quite a lot of things right now.
Well, I'd love to hear about it. Of course, our expo, we're going to have SEMA and Adventist Disaster and Relief. And we'd like to have your volunteers if they'd like to come out. I mean, that's really important, especially going into storm season, isn't it?
Exactly. What we're focusing on at this expo is pet sheltering in a disaster. We recently received a small grant from ASPCA, and we decided to purchase a pet emergency response cart, which includes pet cages, food bowls, all kinds of things to set up a pet shelter. So that's what we're going to focus on.
And can you explain a little bit about why the community would need a pet shelter for a disaster?
Absolutely. In disasters past, especially Katrina, it was found that lots of people would not vacate their home if they could not take their pet. And some shelters, Red Cross being one of them, will not allow pets unless they're a service animal. So we decided maybe one way to get families to be prepared is to have their pet prepared. Some people are more likely to take good care of their pets, specifically dogs and cats, for this process. But we're hoping that the family will make a plan, which includes their medicine, their health conditions, and then do the same for their pet. What medicine the pet takes, have they had their rabies shots, which is one really important thing going into a shelter.
So there's a lot to be prepared for a pet before a disaster should come. There, you mentioned to make sure that if they have medicines, to have their shots. So what would it look like if it looked like there was a tornado coming to our area? What would the people have to do to contact you or get the pets? Or is it prior to a disaster or after a disaster?
Typically, this is after a disaster, when humans go to a shelter to have a pet shelter co-located within walking distance, hopefully, so the humans, the family, can take care of the pet themselves and have all the information about their pet. It's not a shelter for homeless animals. It's a shelter for people that are going to be in a shelter.
So if it's somebody that's dislocated from their home,
exactly,
after
Yes.
a disaster.
Yes.
Yeah, that is really neat.
Yes.
And this is something that has started just recently?
Yes, just in January we actually started working full force on it. We have Dr. Lindquist, who is a veterinarian out of Kirksville in Edina, who has agreed to be our veterinary medical director, and she has already provided lots of feedback to us and things that we hadn't thought about that we need to do. And this is primarily, it's a mobile unit that can be taken to various places, communities, and we're focusing on the 5 outlying towns right now: La Plata, Atlanta, Bevier, Callao, and New Cambria. So what's unique about this emergency response for pets is that we don't know of anywhere else in the state, especially in rural communities, that this is going on. So it is mobile, so we can help out our community partners as well as surrounding counties, because who has this? It's not something you think about. But at the fair, we plan to have our cart there, some cages set up, some things that are in the cart, and we're hoping maybe a dog or cat will drop in so we can show them how we actually treat the animals. One of our plans is to get training from Dr. Lindquist on handling pets, handling angry pets, what to do if you get bit or scratched. So she's going to be a huge asset for us. But we do have plan to have information on disaster plan for your pet, where you can fill out all the information on your animal and have it with the pet's information, maybe their rabies vaccination card, their medicine, the food they like, so when you need to, you can just take it to the shelter with you. We will also have our family plan and health information card available for the families, because not everybody is prepared. We think we are, but if you had to leave your house at a moment's notice, what would you take? What would you need to know? What would people need to know if you weren't able to talk to them? So we like for people to be ready in 3, which is a program through the Department of Health and Senior Services. It's create a plan for your family, prepare an emergency kit, which quite a lot of stuff in that, and then listen for information on the radio or on your media devices about where to go and what the plan is, because some people have no clue where to go in a disaster, and some people decide to shelter at home. So if you do that, where are you going to go in your home to be safest from whatever the disaster may be?
Now to close out our program, here's the music group Christ Our Life with their song entitled Your Ways Are Perfect.
Jesus, you're good, faithful and true, and all things go through your hand. I know times I don't understand. Your ways, they are perfect. Your ways, they are high. When your waves are crashing and I'm asking why, you are still good in all that you do, and I give my praise to you. You light a fire through every trial, cleansing me deep within. Help me to see it's your love for me, purging my heart from sin. Your ways, they are perfect. Your ways, they are high. When your waves are crashing and I'm asking why, you are still good in all that you do, and I give my praise to you. Lord, I trust in you. Though there's pain, I will hope against hope. I cry out to you for your mercy. I lift up my voice, Lord, I trust in you. Though there's pain, I will hope against hope. I cry out to you for your mercy. I lift up my voice. Your ways, they are perfect. Your ways, they are high. Your waves are crashing and I'm asking why, you are still good in all that you do, and I give my praise to you. I know you will work it all for my good, and I choose to worship you.
Thank you for listening to the 2018 Because Your Life Matters Expo show. If you would like to participate in this event or already participating and would like to be on this program, please contact us at 660-851-1844. Please follow our station on Facebook at KCNFLP or go to fb.me/KCNFLP. And follow our church Facebook and YouTube pages under Macon Connections in Macon. That's MAKIN, Connections in Macon, MACON. Special thanks to all who participated and helped make this program possible. Music provided by godlychristianmusic.org and orangefreesounds.com. This is program number 4, and I'm Fletcher Pride. Thank you for listening to your home for keeping Christ in focus, KCNFLP 104.1 FM Macon.